Hello everyone, welcome to our new show, Psychology, Fact vs. Fiction. I am Daniel Sincere, and joining me today is Connor Wilson. He will be teaching us some common misconceptions people can have about OCD and phobias. It can be really easy to misdiagnose and confuse these, so let's get talking. Connor?
Thank you so much, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here today. Let's get the ball rolling by talking about OCD, or obsessive-compulsive disorder. Obsessive-compulsive disorder is a disorder marked by obsessions and compulsions, as can be inferred by the name. And basically what that means in a nutshell is the people have repetitive thoughts or actions based on perceived problems, most of the time non-existent. And you see a lot in social media, especially people talking about their OCD and because they're annoyed by like an asymmetrical picture or if the windows in their house are open.
Yeah, I see it so many times, like, oh, I'm really OCD about this. It's just like a pet peeve.
Yeah, it's almost become an adjective, really,
Yeah.
and has lost some of its value. And I think it could be hard if you actually do suffer from OCD, because people who have OCD, it's a very real problem for them. It affects their lives, which is a big part of having any kind of mental disorder. In order to be diagnosed with a disorder, you need to have it affect your life. Yeah.
Like it has to get in the way of your daily routine. Like you might show up late to work because you have to make sure the door is locked 4 times.
Yeah, definitely. Or you don't get sleep because you think that your window is open and
You hate having the window open.
Yeah. Or you're afraid somebody might climb in through it. You want to make sure it's shut a bunch.
Yeah.
So they could lose sleep or be late for work because of these things they feel like they need to do, and just have so much anxiety, and it's a huge problem. Another thing that I at least see a lot is people calling themselves phobic of certain things. Like, you hear people say they're arachnophobic all the time, when really what they're usually talking about is just a general fear of, say, spiders. That's a really common one I hear.
Oh yeah, I hear like, oh, I'm arachnophobic all the time, when they're not. They just don't like spiders.
Yeah. People who have general fear might just be anxious when they see a spider, or just kind of scared. You might get a little bit of an adrenaline rush, which is very normal because there are spiders that can be threats. It's an evolutionary drive. But people who have phobias, they can go into a full-on panic attack when they're in a room if they see a spider. And they can just break down, and hyperventilation, sweating, and just inability to act or move. They might actually, and oftentimes they'll avoid certain locations or actions because they fear they'll run into the situation, and it'll keep them up at night trying to think of ways to avoid finding themselves in these situations. And again, just a really big problem for them.
My, that is way more severe than you usually hear about phobias. Like, I do not believe I'm arachnophobic.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be either. I would never want to have a real phobia. It's a very big burden to bear. Yeah,
It's not just a fear of something. It's a full on.
it's very heavy anxiety over stuff like that.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming here, Connor.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for this information. Listeners out there, we're going to be putting some links at the end of the video. I recommend further reading. The stuff is really interesting, and you can learn a lot. So, alright, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. That's Psychology, Fact vs. Fiction. Signing off.